Okay, look. This is a very simple concept. This is the link that I sent you. If you open it up and you look, see where it says task? It says the name of the task, and then it either has a P, an NP, or an HP next to it. Premium, non premium, high premium. Okay? All right. The information that you need to know, for example, war delivery can only be done during war on the monsters, so you need to pay attention to your war schedule and your monster schedule. Opportunity, it's going to tell you whether or not it is a task that typically brings in a task that is decent for you, or if it is a task that is probably going to bring in something garbage, right? Algorithm is the rate in which the task returns. Risk is basically, obviously, the risk that you take on by completing said task. So, for example, if you do the monster task and it's below main task value, because it has a high algorithm attached to it, it's just going to keep returning, right? So the risk would be that it keeps returning, it keeps lowering your average, and that by the time that you stop doing it, it's gone, and then it'll probably come back in for main task value, and you'll have to pay some ridiculous amount of cash to complete it, or you'll have to leave it to sit, and thereby taking up one of your main task spots, which would really suck. Okay, so now that you have the cheat sheet to all these items, these assignments, now you have to look at the rotation order, okay? So if you look here, this tells you what a main task is, a rotatable task, whatever, right? Tells you premium, non-premium values, all that good stuff. All right, keep scrolling. These are the categories that you should be looking at when comparing assignments. This here is the order of rotation for high-level players. So you're a high-level player. So look at it like this. A high main tasks, highest main premium or non-premium, okay? So that's the generalized version of what you're looking for first. So the highest main, what is a main task? 2K or higher is a main task. Premium or non-premium, so that doesn't matter. So you're going to start there, and you're going to pull out all those assignments that are 2K or higher. Premium or non-premium is irrelevant. Okay, you're going to start by pulling all those to the front of your to-do list. Then, once you've got those 4 tasks or whatever it is, you're going to break down the list by using this comparison and say, okay, which one is highest in value? Which one is highest in value opportunity? Value opportunity always matches value. Value opportunity is the opportunity that you gain by completing that value because it's no longer in the list. So if you have a 3K task, the value opportunity is good because you're opening up a spot on your list that is also for that 3K task. So another 3K task could come in, right? Value possibility is obviously what the assignment has the ability to be worth, which is similar to premium, non-premium, high premium, but some tasks are a little bit more, specific, okay? Value difference. The difference between the value in which you are comparing however many tasks it is you're comparing. So if you are comparing 3 tasks, you're going to look at the value difference for each one of those. Like, what is the difference between a 3K VU and a 2K repair, right? You've got a 3K VU and a 2K repair. You have the repair ready on your map. Like, let's say that the repair is to repair 5 for 2,000 points, and you have the repair on the map right now. You can do it. But you also have a launch 3 VU. So now you look at opportunity and you say, okay, which one of these assignments is going to give me better opportunity? Well, the 3K VU is higher in value. It's going to give you a higher value opportunity. The value possibility is higher. The value difference is 1,000 points. Okay. The opportunity is better for the launch VU. The type of task. Launch VU is premium. Repair is non-premium. Okay. The history. How many times have you done this particular assignment this particular week? That is why you need your screenshots to locate your doorways and your history. Okay? Algorithm. What is the algorithm? Well, the algorithm on VU is decent. The algorithm on repair is high. So now you're comparing a high non-premium algorithm with a low opportunity to a assignment that is premium, has the ability to come in for 3,000 points, okay, is worth 1,000 points more, has better opportunity, and a little bit lower algorithm than the repair, but its opportunity is higher. This is why we call it op over value for the first X amount of assignments, okay? For the first 60 assignments, it's op over value. Doesn't mean that value is not important. It just means that opportunity trumps value. Okay? So, the game categories. Is there anything going on in your game that would make one the right choice versus the other? Well, you do have the repair available, but now what you have to ask yourself is this. Do I want to leave a 3K assignment to sit? To do a repair assignment? Just because it's on my map? When I know that I have to do the 3K VU anyways. So even if I do the repair first, okay, let's say I did the repair first. I get that out of the way. Now I do the VU and I have to repair anyways. Right? So now all I did was make it to where when I rotated the repair, I screwed up the order of the rotation. For my own convenience, which really wasn't even more convenient, I took 1,000 less points and I changed the sequence in which the game was going to give me assignments because now, when I rotated the repair, I had one less chance of getting a 3K task than if I would have waited. Then you have to take into consideration that the repair has a higher chance of returning, right? So you don't want it to just block off your good doorway immediately. By you doing the repair first, it has a higher chance of returning on that 3K VU doorway, which could be your good doorway. Okay, risk. Well, you go through, you name any risk. You're basically weighing out your options, okay? So now let's talk about the order of rotation. The order of rotation breaks it down in a very simple format. And then you use this to kind of finalize why you're doing what you're doing. So, order of rotation is quite simple. Once all main tasks are gone, all doable main tasks, so like let's say the only main task you have in your list is like a 3K storage or something, and it's something you can't do anyways, so you're ignoring it, okay? All of your main tasks are gone, which means every single assignment on your list right now is below 2,000 points, okay? Highest rotatable premium with highest algorithm is your next step. So read that very carefully. Highest rotatable. What does that mean? The highest assignment below 2,000 points. That's what that means. Premium, the one that can be worth at least 3,000 or higher. Okay, so high premium or premium. With the highest algorithm. Okay, so let's say that you have a Omega for 1,000 and a regional for 1,000. Regional HQ or not regional HQ, the regional upgrade for 1,000. Okay, which one has a higher algorithm rate? Omega, which means it has a higher chance of returning. And the idea is that we want to open up the possibility for the Omega to come in because it can be a 3K task and because it has a good algorithm. And we want to do that one first, right? So we don't just pick whatever premium of equal value. We have to pay attention to the algorithm. Okay, now once all of your premiums have been rotated, so let's say you do the 1K Omega, right? And you also have a 1K Regional and a 1K Paris down below. You do the 1K Omega and it gives you a 1,200 chairs. That's a non-premium task for high-level players. So now, what do? You go down and you grab the regional. Let's say it gives you a non-premium in return. You go down, you grab the Paris. Okay? You do all three of those. Now, You're looking at your list. All of your premiums have been done. Okay? Let's say that last Paris gave you a 1K Omega. You don't do it again. It just came in. You'll do it again later, but not right now. It just came in. Okay? So now all premiums have been rotated in. Now, normally what happens when you rotate in your premiums is you get main tasks back. So, like, let's say you rotated in that Omega, and it gave you a 3K VU and a 2K repair and a 3K blah, 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 and you went for X amount of tasks. You take your screenshots, you go through, you add up your doorway average, okay? And then when that doorway seals off with whatever assignment it seals off with, you reassess your list and you determine if you should go do another premium down below or if you should continue on with that doorway. For example, let's say that you have been working the Omega doorway for, 20 assignments. All of them have been at least 2,000 points or higher. That is an excellent doorway. You want to continue on with that doorway. You don't want to milkshake your list. But it just gave you an 1,800 Neo coins, which is a non-premium task. So what you would do in that circumstance, because that doorway average is so high, you would do that assignment first, okay? And you would see if it picks up and if it's good to you. If that is the case and it carries you for another 10 tasks with the main tasks, great. If it immediately gives you garbage, then you go back to the order of rotation and you say, okay, highest premiums. Once all premiums are gone, right? So now you're looking at a list. And the only thing that you have in this list is non-premiums, tasks that cannot be worth 3,000 points. The idea here is that you need to get premiums to roll in. That is the goal, right? The goal is that you need to get 3K tasks to come in. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, what assignment can I choose out of this list with the highest probability of giving me a premium? Well, you look at that and you say, okay, if I choose a non-premium with a high algorithm rate, it has a high chance of coming back. So if I do a coins task, right, it's non-premium, it has a high algorithm. Do you really think that is the wise choice when you know the coins is just going to return? Probably not, right? So you want to look at your list and say, okay, I want to pick the non-premium with the lowest chance of returning. So let's say you had a upgrade hotspot, regional hotspot, for 1,100 points. That assignment has a very low algorithm, which means the opportunity for something better is really good, right? So you have a regional hotspot for 1,100, and you have a keys assignment for 1,600. And that is what you're comparing it to. So what you're saying is, by me doing the regional hotspot, it's going to give me an opportunity for a better assignment because this assignment has a low chance of returning. And by doing so, I'm going to take 500 less points right now to gain more points later. If I do the keys instead of the regional, I'll gain the 500 points now, but that keys assignment will keep coming back and keep causing me to drop my average because of its algorithm rate. Okay? So at what point do you break this cycle? Okay? There are instances where you would do non-premiums with high algorithm rates. There are 3 instances, and all of them are rare. Okay? One is, well, 2 of them are rare. One of them is when value over op occurs. Now, that is not rare. That is just happens every week. So when you do your assignments, you have 75 assignments in total. If you're playing COM competitively, you are using 15 tickets each week if you're smart. If you're stupid, you try to save tickets, okay? Don't do that. Because the bottom line is with these milestones, you really never know what people have in their back pocket kind of thing, and you want to make sure that you've done the best you can possibly do if you're trying to win. So, that being said, the first 60 assignments, it's op over value. Okay, that is the rotation. After those last 15 tickets come up, okay? Right now, you need to realize that, yeah, okay, the regional hotspot might give you better opportunity, but you only have 15 assignments left. So we really need to pocket in these points because opportunity doesn't matter when you can't keep doing assignments, right? That is when value over op comes in play. So that is when you would pick the 1600 keys over the 1100 regional hotspot, when it is value over op. Value over op occurs when you are doing your last 15 tickets, okay? Okay, now, what is another instance? Another instance would be if you're in reverse rotation. Reverse rotation is where no matter what you rotate, you get garbage in return. Every assignment in your list is pretty much 1,000 points. And when I mean everything you rotate is garbage, I don't mean you get like a 2K task here and there. I mean like literally everything is giving you 1K tasks. At this point, you look at your leaderboard, you realize that pretty much everybody on your leaderboard is also dealing with this. And the best way to combat the issue, the best way to score the most out of everybody on your leaderboard is going to be to take the 1K average the game is allowing you to earn and turn it into a 12 to 1600 average by doing the non-premium assignments. So instead of trying to find good opportunity assignments you know you won't find, you just regularly do your non-premiums, like your keys, your repairs, whatever, because you know their lowest value is 1,200 instead of 1,000. So now Billy Joe Bob, he's going to be doing the 1K upgrades, trying to get 3K tasks that are never going to come in, and you're going to be over there doing the 1,200, 1,600 keys, and you're just going to earn just a little bit more than him by doing so and not waste a bunch of experience. That's reverse rotation. Again, that's rare. Don't just automatically assume that since you got a few bad tasks or you can't locate a good doorway that you're in reverse rotation, okay? The third instance is a doorway flip. Now, this one is a little bit more common than reverse rotation lately. And that is where you cannot locate a good doorway, but you know you're not in reverse rotation because you are getting some decent tasks. Now, this would be like, and again, this is why you should keep screenshots. This would be like if you started your week, okay, and it's your first assignment of the week, and you say, okay, I did a 3K war delivery and I got a 1,200 repair. That's one of your starting doorways. Now it is sealed off for the duration of the contest. You do another main task and you get a 1,200 keys. Now 2 of your starting doorways are sealed up with non-premiums, right? So now those are being ignored. Now you continue on with the contest, you realize nothing's going good for you, and you're trying to locate a good doorway and you haven't been able to. So you would do what we call a doorway flip. And that is where you would go back to your starting doorway, which would be those keys and the repair. Because that is your main task. That is where you started with. And you would do that assignment. But you don't just stop there. Okay, so like let's say you say, okay, I'm going to do this repair for 1,200. And it gives you a 3K delivery. You don't immediately do the 3K delivery because now you've located the good doorway. Okay? Or so you're hoping. You did the 1,200 repair, you got a 3K delivery. Now you're like, okay, good. I think this is my good doorway. This is where I need to be working. How do I continue being able to work on this doorway when I know that repair is still out there? It's going to return, and when it does, it's going to cover up my good doorway. If I have to keep doing the repair every time it covers up my good doorway, I'm going to lower my average, and it's just going to cancel out the points that I'm gaining, which would be pointless. So now your goal is to rotate that repair onto a different doorway. Now you can't rotate it onto a doorway that has a high chance of coming back. Like you can't rotate a repair onto a keys doorway because then the keys will just keep coming back. You have to rotate it onto a doorway with a low algorithm, right? So you need a good op task. For example, let's say you had a 600 cargo at the bottom. That is what you would rotate. Okay, you need to look for a good opportunity assignment, meaning one that does not have a high algorithm. So if you had a 1,200 chairs and a 1,500 seeds and a 600 cargo, you would go with the 1,500 seeds. Now, let's say you had all electrical prepped, okay? And you couldn't, you didn't want to just junk all that electrical to do the seeds. Then you could go with the chairs. Either way, you're trying to get the damn repair back on a different doorway. Once the repair, do 3 rotations. If you haven't got the repair back on a different doorway within 3 rotations, then go back to the original doorway where the repair came from, continue working, see how long until the repair returns. If the repair comes back immediately, do it one more time, continue rotation on a different doorway, keep trying to get that repair back on a different doorway, but don't just sit there and lower your average, 10 assignments in trying to get the repair, okay? If you're not immediately getting the repair back, which is rare, try jumping doorways. Try going from your lowest valued or lowest place on the list. That usually changes the weathering system of the week, and that usually will give you that back, okay? So the idea is that if the repair is taking too long to come in, that you work your good doorway and then kind of work out your doorway average and see, can I afford to keep taking this hit, or should I look elsewhere? Should I go to my keys doorway instead? Okay, that is what a doorway flip is. I have videos on doorway flips, but those are the only 3 instances where you should be touching non-premiums at that rotatable value, okay? The only ones. So if your non-premiums of high algorithm are at main task value, that's different, because now you're opening up a main task placement and you're keeping your 2K or higher average, right? So, for instance, if you have a repair for 2,000 and you have a word delivery for 2,000, right? Which one is premium versus non-premium? Word deliveries is premium. Word deliveries is limited time. It has better opportunity. That would be the one you would do first. Okay? You don't just do assignments based on their value and only their value. You have to look at the highest probability of getting a good assignment in return. So anytime that you're picking an assignment, you are looking at the best choice based on the criteria that you're given, so that the result of said choice is going to be the best possible outcome for you. For example, if you do assignments just because they're equal in value and don't pay attention to any of the other information, you're going to lower your probability of getting good tasks. So by doing the 2K word delivery over the 2K repair, you have opened up the possibility of the word delivery in, returning, which is a 3K task. You've also taken away the risk of not being able to do the word delivery on time because it's a limited time task. In the repair, we know it's just going to keep returning. So that's the next thing you have to look at when you do main tasks that are non-premiums, like keys for 2,000 or a repair for 2,000. You have to look at it and say, okay, I know that this task will return soon. So I need to be very careful when I rotate this to not block up one of my good doorways. For example, the storage assignment for 3,000 points. If you can't do that assignment at least 2 times, do not do it until the very end. Because what will happen is you'll do the 3K storage. Okay, you'll continue on, you'll locate your good doorway, and then the 3K storage will block up your good doorway. And now you won't have the pieces to get it off of the good doorway. And now you're stuck sitting there with a blocked doorway. That is not something you want to deal with. Okay? Whereas if you would have left it the damn hell alone, and you would have continued on, left your doorways wide open, and then near the end of the contest, gained the 3,000 points from that assignment that you gain later, instead of putting yourself at risk by doing it earlier. Either way, you get the 3,000 points, whether it be now or at the end of the week. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is that you don't block off one of your good doorways. Okay? Now, this is the rules of rotation. Here is the way you should be prepping. Here is the upgrade rotation order. Okay, so based on value, of course. Latin and Old Town at 1200, they trump anything. Okay, so a 1200 Latin or an Old Town trumps a Omega or a regional or whatever. Okay, now let's say Old Town and Latin have been done, and you're looking at Omega Regional Airport regular design at rotatable value, right? That is the order in which you would do it. So if you have a 1K Omega, a 1K Regional, and a 1K Airport, that is the order in which you would rotate them. If they are at main task value, it is the same concept. So if you have a Omega 3K versus a Regional 3K, Omega 3K comes first. If the Regional is 3K and the Omega is 2K, the Regional comes first because of value, right? It's really quite a simple concept. All right, so that pretty much sums that up.